In a world in crisis, can three idiots find hope in the darkest of places? Will love conquer all, or will hate win out in the end? This is a show called Hate.
Welcome to A Show Called Hate, a podcast in which we explore love, hate, and everything in between in search of greater meaning and perhaps a little perspective. I'm John.
I'm England.
I'm England. England.
Why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this?
Well, there's a table here, so I was going to bang the table, but then it's
made of glass.
It's made of glass, so I didn't.
What could be more English than smashing a glass
let's
table
tear
with
this
a
place
To be
pint?
fair, that is true.
Yeah.
5 pints of Stella, please.
Yeah. What has brought about this sudden explosion of patriotism in you? Because clearly we've all got a lot to be proud of right now.
England's on the rise. It's a country on the rise.
A country on the grow.
No.
The tariffs are less
Some say our
than
economy-
every other country.
Well, no, we still get the baseline.
Oh, we get the
tariffs, don't we?
baseline
Yeah,
tariffs.
yeah. But that does. No, you're still right because, like,
Everyone
everyone's getting tariffed,
Yeah.
but we're only getting the baseline, and then some other evil countries.
Oh, I see. Like
enemy countries,
like the French.
Yeah, like the awful Europeans.
Some of the worst countries, i.e., those who are in the most debt as far as America is concerned, or America is in the most debt too,
But in the
are getting
list,
tariffed a lot.
in the list of enemy countries, I think there's like 6 of them. China, obviously, very, very prominent in that, with 54% tariffs. Insane. Europe has like 25 or something. Japan's in there.
They hate Japan.
What's his problem with Japan? Is it manga?
Manga.
Is it manga?
I get it. I don't like manga as a genre.
Manga. I never liked Bleach.
Yeah.
Do you ever think that?
Not a fan of Bleach.
Do you ever wonder if by even us three idiots having a semi-serious discussion about... But do you ever think that even us having a semi-serious conversation about this are giving it more credit than it kind of deserves?
Yeah.
Because people are going like, ooh, what's the twisted logic behind this power
There is no
play?
Yeah,
logic.
I know.
Yeah.
Because you're absolutely right to say it, I think, because I had a similar thought today when I was reading about it. But it's like, he is kind of just like a child, like, in control. But he's operating, he's pulling all the levers that have always typically been pulled by, not necessarily smart people, but responsible
Background people who specialise in it.
Yeah, people who are aware of the ramifications of what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, people who would pull the levers like tentatively, scaredly, because they know what happens to economies and what happens to like countries and shit like that. He's just fucking pulling them like, whoa, let's go. You know, and it's like, but the whole world's only way to react to it is to go deep into analysis. What does it mean?
What does it
mean?
mean?
Because that's what we've always done.
Yeah.
Let's analyse what all this is. It's nothing.
But the answer is he's a like class A like lummox.
Yeah, but like a...
we're gonna do the best tariffs you've ever seen.
It's
These
quite
are the
good.
best tariffs.
It's not bad. Yeah.
But they held that board up, and I was like, oh, that's interesting as far as this story goes in terms of his inverted commas, not enough air quotes, logic behind what he's charging people. And it was like, it was roughly 50% of whatever supposedly the tariff on America was from that country.
Yeah.
But I read up on it this morning, and it turns out that's not the case at all. It's just the amount of debt America is already into those countries and what they're effectively being charged for that debt.
Right.
So it's a nonsense to suggest they're being tariffed
Yeah.
that amount.
Right. So he's literally misunderstood the entire thing.
Well, or he's not misunderstood it, but he's making people believe something that isn't true.
Yeah, or like
let's
he's
say that.
willfully...
Willfully ignorant.
It's perhaps why, like, his... I was going to say, like... Oh, no, I don't know. I was going to say, like, it's why his lies are so effective, but, like, that would even that would suggest that they're kind of clever. It's like he's living life with a get-out-of-jail-free card, like, literally, like...
Yeah.
Whatever
No, he can say anything he wants. Literally, he could say
Yeah.
anything he wants.
Executive
and
orders.
enough people will believe it that it becomes the truth.
Yeah, and then even
That's
people who
that's
don't...
effectively a post-truth.
But even the people who don't believe it rush in to just kind of fill the gap
then
around
people
it.
are so busy rushing around to try and either disprove or quantify what he said that by the time they've done that, it doesn't matter because it's already out there.
There's already
Yeah.
off the next
It doesn't matter. We're already moved on. The world's moved on. That's become a fact, inverted commas. And trying to disprove anything after he's already giving it the big one doesn't matter
Yeah.
because it's already out there, and enough people have bought it and bought into it and believed it and consider it a truth that trying to disprove it, it's already too late.
Yeah.
I'm listening right now to an audiobook of, it's a very good book. It's called The Ministry of Truth.
Oh yeah.
It's by Dorian Lynskey.
Follow up to the Ministry of Sound.
Yeah, and
Sequel 2.
Ali thought that was a real government ministry.
Ministry of
I
Sound.
thought it was as well. They had a logo.
Ministry of Sound.
They did have a logo.
Yeah.
They did have a logo,
which is
yeah.
clearly enough to fool you and Ali.
Yeah.
Just a logo.
I was trying to make.
Hi, I'm Michael Gove and I'm the Minister of Sound.
I was trying to make a follow-up joke where I was going to name a DJ and go, "Oh yes, and their spokesperson," and then I couldn't bring a DJ to
I
mind.
just went with Michael Gove.
DJ Scooter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DJ Go.
The Ministry of Truth. It is an autobiography of the book 1984.
Oh, yes.
And by extension, George Orwell. To some extent, it's very good. But there's just been listening to a bit where he's talking about George Orwell's relationship with H.G. Wells,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
who was much older than him,
Yeah.
and basically he kind of admired Wells, but also had an issue with him. And he said his biggest issue with Wells was the idea that he wrote kind of utopias.
Yes.
And he said his problem is he is too rational. He thinks that logic can explain everything, and thus he can never understand the threat of fascism.
Sure.
Now, admittedly, Orwell had a bit of a bee in his bonnet about fascism.
No.
I'm not saying he was wrong, but like it was like his life's calling to like call out this stuff.
Yes.
But it's an interesting thing, the idea that like a guy who everyone thinks was a very smart futurist guy,
Yeah.
but he honestly believed that like rationality would kind of win out in the end, and that's why kind of
Well, it did for a long time.
I think sadly I used to and still find myself believing that,
yeah.
despite so much evidence to the contrary. Like we are living, like you say, in a post-rational, post-logical world, and approaching and meeting these insanities with logic and rationale doesn't do anything.
It says something that if you like believe that rationality will win out, you're now considered something of a dreamer.
Yeah, an idealist.
I dream of just like facts.
Yeah.
I know.
being
Facts
facts.
don't work anymore. They don't mean anything.
Yeah, I just dream of facts. That's all I dream of.
It's
I
such a
dream
wild-
of a world where people accept basic facts that are facts and not just some bloke saying things.
I'm full of anecdotes today, but I also
Oh,
read
yeah.
like an essay that
Fucking hell, John, you want to go out more?
I know,
Oh,
well-
I read a book. I read an
read a
essay.
book. Oh, I read a book.
Jesus. Get the telly on.
But this was a while ago. I read an essay that it was something Hunter S. Thompson wrote about Nixon,
I love that guy.
where basically he would just outright stand up and call Nixon like, you know, a pus-riddled dog's ass of like a
Say anything you
corrupt
want. Nixon's
megalomaniac.
dead, right? We can say anything we want.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But the point is that someone had written to him and said, "You, sir, are being uncivil. You're being, you know, unjust. Just because you disagree with the man, you shouldn't be like insulting or
Yes.
anything."
Yeah.
And his response was basically,
Fuck you.
yeah. He said,
Yeah.
no. He said because polite speak and rational thought and civil discourse allowed that monster to get into power. He is an irrational, ugly beast, and the only way you fight that is with irrational, ugly
Sure.
language.
Yeah.
You call it as you see it.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
don't try and gussy it up and go like, oh, well, I'm sure there's method to his madness, and I'm sure he's like planning. And
No.
yeah,
I
Well,
agree completely.
Every news outlet is afraid to do that because of, you know, being sued and if ultimately being, I don't know, cast out in sensible culture as
Losing
being,
the
like,
high ground.
losing the high ground, and if, you know, the remaining rational people then going, well, yes, they did do something irrational, and therefore I don't fully trust them now. People are so keen to embed themselves in one camp or the other, whether that's rational thought or fucking hell, let's just believe whatever Trump says,
Yeah.
that you almost don't know what to take as the proper path in a
Yeah.
kind of way.
No, it's true.
One way or the other. There's no real middle ground now.
But it's happening a lot, even like not necessarily with like news outlets or people with influence and people on television. Or whatever. Like you'll talk to just everyday people about it, and they will display restraint and like control about it. You know, something I've started doing is outwardly just whenever we talk about someone like Trump or whenever we talk about someone like Musk, I just refer to them as stupid because they are fundamental. I believe it to be true, and you will often meet like counteracting arguments of people going, well, no, come on, I mean, he's not stupid, you know, obviously he's running a few companies and he's doing this and he's doing that, and he, you know, and when he was younger he did this and he grew this stock price and blah blah, and it's like, no, because what you're doing is you're using measured language to try and explain fundamentally confusing things, which are, how could a man who is exhibiting such stupidity rise to such a level today?
Yeah.
And the answer is luck.
And an environment which
yeah,
allows you
exactly.
to fail upwards.
Yeah. So no, actually, we need to stop using this measured, restrained language. We need to start calling a fucking shit a shit. And this man is an idiot. He is fundamentally a very, very stupid man. And so is Trump. And people like to go like, oh yeah, but it's annoying, isn't it? Because he must be quite smart because of where he's got to. And it's like, no. Actually, no, not at all.
Yeah.
He is very stupid. And that's how he's got to where he is.
You're piggybacking on the work of others in a good and bad way, in terms of a society that has gravitated towards these kind of characters is dumb luck, absolute dumb luck, and they got into a position of power through the hard work of others in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like Trump was born with a silver spoon. Musk,
Emerald spoon.
Yeah, emerald spoon.
God, that's good.
God, that's write that down. Musk, I don't know where the fuck he came from, but he obviously has lucked out in a lot of ways.
Well, again, the biggest thing was like in the tech boom, he built a website which was basically like a poor man's Google Maps where you could leave reviews for businesses. It was called X. Right. It was his baby.
Never heard of it.
He's obsessed with having a website called X.
But again, like he got rich in a way that most people got rich in, like at that point in time, is you got bought by Google or a bigger company.
But he didn't develop the website.
No,
he just partnered with people who could.
Yeah, and that's what they would do. But in the tech, the web 1.0 boom, people just went up and bought things. Oh, what have you got? Hyper mega global.
Oh yeah, they have the internet on computers now.
Yeah, buy them out, boys.
Buy them out, boys.
Yeah.
There was a real sense of that, wasn't there, back then? It's just like, it's an idea for a website. I'll buy it.
Yeah, good. Oh, that was heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually sounded borderline clever.
We turned into very briefly turned into a political podcast.
Political commentary podcast.
Yeah.
I choose to believe.
Let's stop that.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah. It's been we obviously didn't do one last time around because we all had a pretty manic month.
Well, I'd been ill for a while.
You've been ill for like forever.
Well, I was coughing on the last one we did.
He has.
Yeah.
Well, not even this time.
No?
I can't even blame the child. I got ill from work, I think.
You could.
I gave it to him.
Yeah.
Oh.
But then I got an infection as a result of
Is it
the
because
cold.
you keep sneaking into cinemas and licking the cup holders?
Yeah, well, that's exactly why. And I never thought that would catch up with me, actually. But
well,
here we are.
Well, you're only young once,
Yeah,
it does.
yeah.
So I was
That is
ill.
where the flavour gathers, though.
I was ill with a cough and stuffed up and whatever for about a month in the end.
Yeah.
And they gave me some steroids. And
Really?
That didn't work, but I got hench.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking
Pills
very-
or a big injection in your bum?
No, neither actually. It was like nasal steroids.
Ah.
So they were going right up there.
steroids.
And then that didn't work, so they gave me antibiotics, and that sorted me right out.
I was on. We've both done the old steroid.
Oh
course,
yeah.
and,
Man, old fucking hands.
Oh,
back in
steroids.
old gym
I've
days.
overdosed on steroids.
You did, didn't you? Yeah.
Wasn't
yeah.
my fault.
No.
I did.
Wait, what'd you say to me?
No, it was never your fault. It was all those phonies and weaklings.
All those beaters.
I'm so confused.
I'm so hungry.
I'm so confused and hungry.
I remember on my first day, because it was like an 8-week course, and they massive dose, and then they gradually reduce you
off. Yeah.
But that first day when you took them, it was like 8 pills in one day.
Yeah, and that the size of dinner plates.
And as they said, you may have some
Could
trouble.
like see through a brick wall after that.
Don't need to see. I'll just walk through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they said you may have some trouble sleeping, and by howdy were they right. I was like bouncing off the walls. It was great.
Yeah. Like my vision was like marked with lightning. It was incredible. Yeah.
The mad thing is that like I feel like this. We shouldn't say this out loud, but like it kind of made every part of me better.
Yeah.
Like it was.
This
unreal.
is the crazy thing about steroids is they literally fix and improve every part of the biological human body in such a gloriously fundamental way that while you're on them at the very like sweet spot like honeymoon period at the beginning, you're like, this is a panacea.
Yeah.
This is truly a cure-all. And then
I haven't slept in 5 weeks, but good God.
but I don't need to.
I don't need sleep. Sleep's for the week.
More ideas per unit of time than any other period of my life.
They'll give you like the steroids to fix one problem, and then literally like every other minor complaint you've ever had
It's
just
so
goes
true.
just goes away.
Yeah. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Man,
You
I
also
could
do
do
get
some steroids.
very hungry.
Yeah.
I found like
Hungry.
my appetite like tripled, and also very fluctuating emotions.
Yeah. I just remember like it taking a few weeks to not feel like your skin was full of ants because
Apart from that, though, everything was great.
Yeah, it was grand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was ill, and you were knackered also, or busy, or knackered, or both.
You've done something.
Yeah, because it's been a full month since we recorded.
Full month.
And in that
One hot
time,
month.
I spent a whole week renovating the studio space at
Yes.
Jolks, and then a whole week hosting a comic art exhibition.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, so a pretty intense week of DIY.
Yeah,
And then we had a launch party,
I was there.
which you were all at, which was grand.
I was there.
Both there.
And then a week of like an open gallery, which I kind of figured like maybe like a handful of people would come to, but it was surprisingly busy.
Was it?
Decent number of people came.
Yeah, that final day, I was talking for 8 hours straight.
Fuck
That's
that.
not an exaggeration. And then we went to Disneyland.
Yay! The most magical place on earth.
So mad.
Paris.
Well, you two went. I didn't.
Yeah, you weren't invited.
You weren't
No, I
invited.
was invited.
because of what you did that one
Yes, that makes
You're a
sense.
child.
Yeah, I'm banned from Disneyland still.
Yeah, we saw your face actually at
After
the
that
booth.
incident.
They projected it on the castle.
Do not admit.
There's a big red X.
Do not be scared.
Yes, you went to Disneyland.
We went to Disneyland, the most magical place on earth.
Yes, apparently, according to our lawyers.
And it was great.
Yeah.
Yes, it was good.
Yeah.
It's good.
There you go.
Now, you're more of a Disney person than I am.
I am. I've been to some more Disneylands than you.
The Disneyland.
And you've done Disneyland Paris before.
I have, so I knew like I knew
your
I
way
knew my
around.
way around. It was
Yeah.
like going home.
They were all like, "Hi, Nick.
Yeah,
Nice
they
to
were,
see you
actually.
again."
Yeah, Goofy was like, "Gosh, it's Nick again."
Gosh, I thought I told you not to come back.
And I was like, "Shut up, Goofy."
Shut up, Goofy.
Tell the other dogs what you saw.
Your drugs won't protect you forever.
All that matters is for now, Goofy.
Your body will age. I am eternal.
We'll see.
We'll see.
The only thing that kills Goofy is like 2037 when his copyright ticks over. You're mine now, Goofy.
Yep. Yep. Public
Yeah.
domain now comes for us all.
But yeah, we had a solid day of travelling to Paris.
Paris.
Ah, oui.
3 days in the
J'adore.
Two parks,
the greater park complex.
Oh, yes.
if you will.
Yes.
Yeah, and then a day of travelling back.
Yeah.
Good.
It was grand.
There you go.
It was. It was really good, and it was.
oui.
It was good for the like stopping me from thinking about anything else,
Yes.
which I think now is perhaps the only way I can relax.
Yes, just by literally being like anti-busy.
Yeah, forced to not do
Yeah.
and think.
Because, again, I don't think, left to my own devices, I don't think I would ever have chosen to go to Disneyland.
No, we did strong arm you into it.
You did. But going with a group of chums,
Yes, chumps.
I had a delightful time. And also, I got to be the group Grinch.
Oh,
I got
everyone
to-
needs one of
a
those.
role that you took upon yourself very powerfully.
You're
in a
just
ben-
going around sighing at
Well,
everyone.
no, in a benign sense. But when folks would repeatedly turn to me and say, "Isn't it magical, John? Aren't you having a good time?"
Yeah.
I'm too honest deep down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would just say, yes.
I'm having a
But
wonderful
also,
time.
people really did only ask because they knew they would get this response.
Yes.
So it was very much like
Wasn't
kind
it
of,
isn't it magical, John?
everyone got what they wanted.
Yes.
Yes. It is magical.
It is magical.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the rides. I had a good time on the rides.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
What rides did you go on?
Well,
I saw one of you either
Basically,
pretending to scream
all
or
of them.
actually screaming.
that was the Tower. That was Tower of Terror.
Tower of
I
Terror.
saw that on the Instagram.
We went on that. I went on that twice.
Oh, yeah.
And like the first time,
That was a fake scream, right?
that was a fake scream.
Right, fine.
We but that's the second time we went on it.
Okay, the first
And the
time,
first time we went on it, I was sitting next to my good friend Nick Angel.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm here.
And they belch you in around the waist. And
and
for those who
sat
are,
in rows.
Yeah.
yeah, and you have a board put upon a attendant who does an excellent job because people are just fucking stupid and can't follow instructions.
Sure.
They get you into your chairs, and after they've finally done that ordeal, they go, and they'll just say something pithy like, "And there's no turning back now."
Oh, then the doors close.
Shit.
And this, is, and this is an elevator that the whole point is that it rockets you up,
Right.
then drops you, then goes
but
a
not,
little higher.
but not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it not fake, though?
No, it's
No,
an
no,
actual.
this is-
It's
oh,
a,
right.
This is
it's
100.
a
it's a
physical
tower,
tower.
fine,
Yeah,
fine.
it's massive,
It was
towering.
like virtual reality.
No.
This is a real one.
And literally, it's not like like there are drop rides that go like click,
Yeah,
click,
yeah.
click, click, and they
This goes
slowly
straight
climb
up.
you. This is like boom, like that.
See you later.
Straight out the gate, like.
Yeah.
And I have a
Straight
bit.
ammo.
I have a bit of a thing where like
Were you expecting that?
I knew. I kind of knew it was coming, but like I do drop. I've done drop rides a lot in my
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
They do get me. I've got a bit of a thing about heights, and as we were being strapped in, I was like, "Ooh, this this is fun.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is a laugh.
and you've got that feeling in your stomach. And there's nothing to hold on to. It's just this seatbelt. And I'm going to put it out into the world. Literally the moment it catapulted us, I grabbed Nick's arm.
You really did. It was like a full-on like fear cleanse.
So is it an outdoor ride or an indoor?
No, so it's
tower?
indoor.
I don't know anything about this.
It's like it's themed like you're in a spooky hotel.
I see.
You join in the basement, you queue in the basement, and then you go in, and then it rockets you up. And you stop at various floors, and then you see like a little scene of some kind, which is roughly Twilight Zone themed.
Okay.
Because that's what the original was themed around in Florida. It's not as heavily themed around the Twilight Zone now, but it's still got those vibes. And then you go right to the top, and the doors open, and you can look out over the park.
Oh, very good.
So that gives you a real sense of literally how high you actually are, and truly what you have. And then it drops you at that point, and as you drop out, from the light of the park, like shining into your beautiful eyes, that's when the camera fires and takes a picture of you when you're highest and beginning your fall.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. And your legs do lift off the ground.
My whole ass lifted off the seat. Like it was the belt holding me in place.
Yeah.
And the second and third...
That's not a great feeling, I always think, on rides, where it's like, this belt, little tiny belt, is literally holding me onto this at the moment.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we talked about it before on air, but there was that stag do that you and I went to in 2009.
Oh, yes.
And walking through the centre of Nottingham, between pubs, we were like, ooh, these carnival folk have set up a kind of...
Yeah, these delightful carnies.
Salt of the earth.
That was fucking high as well.
Oh, it was terrifying.
So was it like a tower drop?
No, it was one of those spinning, like a
cage.
It was like a gentle Victorian spinner, as in like two people could
bar,
get in.
You sit in the seat. They put the
hanging
bar down.
seat
on chains.
It's on chains.
Yeah, and then it spins.
I've seen those.
So then the whole thing climbs up a tower.
Oh my god!
But it was so high.
And there are two chains which are like as thick as your thumb, holding you in, and a single pencil thin bar.
Two people on the thing.
You and I were in one, and our good friend James Pegram was on his own. Ahead of us.
He wasn't happy, was he?
And we were like over literally towering as
he wasn't happy.
Like 200 feet. It felt like 200 feet above the nighttime city of
It really
Nottingham.
did feel high.
Yeah. And we're spinning, and I'm like, this would be such a stupid way to die. Like, just in that moment where you're like, I don't want this to be the story on the tabloids.
I don't think I'd do it now.
No, not in a million years.
I wouldn't do
We
that.
were quite drunk at the time, but we sobered up very quickly.
We used to have a fair that came to Salisbury, my hometown, every year. I think it was like around October time. And it would always have those rides that obviously folded out of a fucking articulated lorry or whatever, and held together by 6 Allen keys or whatever. And
maybe less.
Yeah. And I would love it. I would go every year, and it was like the fucking momentous event of the year. And now I love rides and I love theme parks, but I'm able to love those because I know that they are permanent structures that have rigorous safety precautions, and even then, horrible things happen sometimes.
You do get that moment though where you're like,
I know, is it today?
It could be. Well, it's 1 in 10,000, but this could be the one.
This could be the one. Like, because I remember on one ride at Disneyland, I think it was Space Mountain. I'm not 100% sure if it was either, because there's a few dark coasters at Disneyland, and we got to the end. So we'd done the whole routine, and then we got to the end, and it stopped early in the sort of like finishing bay. So we hadn't quite gone to the point where people can offload and unload. It stopped before, and there was a little voiceover that's just like, there's a slight hiccup with your ride, we'll continue it at any minute now. Don't worry. And it's like, don't worry. And I'm like,
nothing can possibly go wrong.
Don't worry, a priest will be on site soon to
And it's like, I know how these coasters roughly work. It's entirely gravity. So once it's kind of going, I know they have brakes, but but it's like, if another one was to hit the back of me having stopped in the wrong place, we're all dead.
Yeah.
We're definitely all dead.
Yeah.
So that was a little hairy. But of course, I'm guessing there's some sort of redundancy built in where the other one won't be running if the other stops or whatever. I'm sure. But those fucking travelling fairs, fuck me. Like,
that's the difference.
The likelihood of those falling apart.
If you climbed in, because I've been on the cylinder one where you're kind of like pressed
against
up,
the wall,
and the G-forces are unreal. Like,
I know, I've seen people stand up on the walls of those.
What would it be? What's worse to get hit by? A clump of hair or a screw? Because like one's gory, but the other has implications.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, fuck.
Well, I think a screw could kill you.
Is there a bit of scalp on the hair?
Yeah.
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 I don't like that, if I'm honest.
Yeah, but that means someone's hurt, but the ride's still working. But if
Yeah.
a screw hits you, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that might have been load
I
bearing.
think getting a screw could kill you as well.
Could have been just a screw in someone's
I
pocket,
don't think
though.
a clump of hair.
Yeah, someone's
think-
taking their lucky screw to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure this will be fine.
Well, there was that.
Oh my god, imagine!
I don't think
Imagine
it's-
if you had a pocket of screws
Yeah.
on like
Just started
on
chucking
Space
it.
Mountain, and then you just threw a load of them out. Fuck me!
That would be
That would be one of the most evil things you could do.
Yeah.
I'm taking my pocket full of screws to Disneyland.
Yeah. Let's see how they like this.
Well, I think it was.
Wahaha.
See how they like this?
I think it was the last ride I did on the Thursday, which was it was Hyper Space Mountain.
Yeah, because it's not Space Mountain anymore. It's Star Wars themed. So
Oh,
it's
wonderful.
Hyperspace Mountain.
Themed.
Hyperspace Mountain.
Yeah, barely themed. Slightly themed. There's an X-wing.
It's kind of Star Wars.
There's like one X-wing.
There's a couple of like 42-inch plasma screens up
Yeah.
there, just showing.
Hey
Footage.
kids, remember Star Wars?
But
Now you can relive one bit of it in a way.
but
In a sort of way.
Yeah.
That was the last ride I did. I'd ridden it previously and had a very good time, and I rode it on the Thursday afternoon, and I felt like an old man because just come that final ride, I was like, the only image flashing into my head was that time that famous male model was on a ride and a pigeon flew into his face.
Oh yes.
What happened?
Have you heard of Fabio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fabio. Yeah.
So famously, there was some public event where a bunch of celebrities were invited to the launch of a roller coaster, and of course, the most gorgeous man alive, Fabio, was on it. And then a pigeon flew into his face while the roller coaster was going.
Did it like fuck him up?
No, he's fine, but there's
to
always
talk-
footage
tell
of him
about
like blood like pouring out of his.
Fabio.
Oh my god!
My God. Fabio's been injured.
I mean, like
Fabio's hurt.
we've injured a man, but we've hurt society.
Yeah.
That beautiful face.
National treasure.
Yeah, so as I was going around that final exam, I just had visions of like a shoe or a foot.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my god, a foot.
well, God, there was that other one about like, was it Alton Towers?
Yes,
There was
it was Alton Towers.
Well,
Yeah.
we went to Alton Towers as part of our honeymoon, just for funsies.
That's what it's for.
Well, I assume you didn't do it for like misery.
No, not as far as I remember. We did. It was the ride is called Smiler. That's the one you're thinking of.
Yeah.
And we went on it, and only afterwards did I know that was the one where people had got properly hurt,
Crushed.
like lost limbs and things like that. That was.
That's a scam.
I would have thought twice if I'd known that.
Yeah.
I think
There was a dude
we
who...
did 19 rides in one day
Bloody hell.
because it was a very quiet day. It was like a midweek at the end of the summer.
Did you go on the Queen's funeral or something?
But it was. I remember just feeling like I'd been beaten up. We
Yeah.
went back to the hotel, and it was 6:00, and we both went to sleep and woke up the next morning. We felt like we'd been beaten up.
Space Mountain makes you feel like that.
Yeah.
It like shakes your bones around. I think
Yeah.
I lost a bone in Space
Yeah.
Mountain.
It's not attached anymore. It's just floating around inside.
Yeah, there's probably like a whole like basket at the bottom of the mountain where it's just full
Yeah.
of loose bones.
Human bones.
Yeah.
Find yours if you can.
It might have been...
Another femur lost.
Oh no!
I don't know what it was, but wasn't there like a guy who died because his hat came off on a ride, and after the ride was over, he climbed over a fence and snuck onto the grounds to
get his hat.
and then the roller coaster came by and someone's foot hit him in the head.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that sounds like something that could have happened.
Yep.
I've never heard that story, but it sounds plausible.
The Indiana Jones ride was fun.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I enjoyed
that was like
that.
a very tight little rickety kind of coaster
Nice.
around like
I
a
like
sort
them.
of temple, like a sort of Cambodian kind of temple or something.
And I queued for an hour to go on the Peter Pan whimsical nighttime flight ride.
Yes.
Is that a good use of an hour?
Well, I mean, quiet reflection.
Yeah.
You know, kind of, that's good. Good for the soul.
Well, you queued on your own.
No, I was with my beloved
Okay,
wife
very
and my
good.
sister-in-law. And,
fine. You're on your
That
own.
ride has some of the longest queues of Disneyland ever.
and
Why
I
is that?
can't tell you why.
Is it
Because
is it
it's-
magical?
Because
or-
it's old. Because it's one of the last remaining like rides as it kind of
Originals.
was from a really long time
see.
ago.
Yeah, because I was thinking like, oh gosh, this ride has been here since the 50s, but of course the park has only been there from the 90s.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it feels like a ride.
It
It's
really does.
From the
replicated
50s.
from
Feels
50s.
very old fashioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume also like because it is so gentle, you can like, oh, let's
Anyone can
take the
go on
kicks on it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and
Well,
my
that's probably why. Yeah.
and my octogenarian, kind of mother,
Yeah.
kind of take them on as well. Safe.
Yeah,
It is quite charming. It's all like it's very gentle. It's not really a thrill ride.
Sure.
It's more of like a seeing
Sit and
little
have a look.
scenes and animatronics
Yeah.
and stuff.
Maybe if you took like a handful of Molly before you went on, it might feel a
might
bit more
fuck you up.
thrilling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm glad you had a good time.
Most
Indeed.
magical place.
Yeah.
Most magical place on earth.
The most
what they say.
magical place in Europe.
Who has a hate?
Yeah, go on.
Go on, Chris Ray, take his own.
I hate that I feel sorry for inanimate objects.
Oh, I get this.
Oh, here we go.
I feel awful for them sometimes. So, where I work at a university in Cooltown.
Indeed.
Yeah. Cool Town University.
It's quite a rural campus where I work. One of the
You can say shit.
no, it's rural. It's rural by design.
Smells of shit.
Oh, I
It's
see.
one of the top rural campuses in all of the local area.
Yeah, the south of England.
One of the pieces of equipment they have on campus is an automated lawnmower. So
Right.
it's like a little robot that looks half like a remote controlled car if it had a baby with a lawnmower. Basically, it's tiny, and all it does all day is go up and down the lawn, up and down, and cuts any little piece of grass that
Every day.
every day, all day, that has had the audacity to grow above an inch. And I just feel awful for it.
I know.
I feel awful for it. It's just go up and down. I'm just like, that poor mower. How must he be feeling about all this labour he's got to do?
Do you feel like
I look out there and it's going so slowly.
Yeah.
And it just looks like it feels sorry for itself.
Did
Yeah.
Toy
But this is-
Story
I think
poison
Toy
your
Story
head
has a
as
lot
kid?
to answer for.
Yeah.
Because I feel sorry for the last toy on the shelf.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if there's a little toy that's on its own. Or
Ali does that.
Yeah,
like
it's-
big time. Like Ali, I have it to an extent, but Ali
Yeah.
has it like in a way I've never experienced before. And if she sees like one sad teddy,
Yeah,
she'll just buy it.
just get it.
She doesn't even want it.
I feel awful for these
That-
things.
I'm starting to understand why your house is the way it
Full
is.
of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Full of the last toy on the shelf.
It is, yeah, massively. Or if something is damaged, even if it's like a milk carton, do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's like
I'll get
one's
damaged
crumpled.
one.
Yeah, Ali will
Yeah.
get the damaged one because
I
like,
feel
no
awful
one
for
else
it.
will buy it.
I feel
Yeah.
awful for it. But we got to remember, as men who are nearly 40,
We don't know for sure.
these things don't. We
We don't know for
Well,
sure, Chris.
everything logic. If we're talking logic here,
Let's
talk logic.
We've literally just said earlier on
Let's
this
talk-
podcast that logic is dead.
we can't apply
We're living
logic.
in a
Yeah.
post-logic world.
We can't apply logic in one area and not another. Milk cartons don't have feelings.
No, but I think like
But
as a kid in particular, like you're harking back to something we all did as kids.
Yeah.
I think like as
Yeah.
a child we are like an ocean of consciousness, and we
Yeah.
kind of like
Ooh, I like
push
that.
a little bit of that into the things around us. I've talked about it on air. Little Bear, my little teddy bear.
yeah,
You know,
Where is Little Bear?
he's in an attic.
Don't you feel awful about
But
that?
you
I feel terrible about
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
but
like,
he hasn't
yeah.
got rid of him.
Yeah.
Oh, I've still got my childhood bear
Yeah.
next to my bed.
I've got my childhood bear in my wardrobe.
Yeah.
I anthropomorphize
Yeah.
like a bangle I used to wear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you feel
I-
awful about that?
I cannot. I nearly burst into tears when I gave my car away to be crushed
Yeah.
because I was like, it's been through so much with me. We
Liz-
went on so many journeys.
Liz is the same.
Yeah.
Cars,
That car's
cars
a
are
car.
a big one for me.
It's a car though.
Yeah,
It doesn't
but
feel anything.
here's the thing, right? You're right about a milk carton, right?
Yeah.
Cardboard outer casing, liquid inside, liquid drains slowly as you use it.
Yeah.
A car, however, very complex. You could
Yeah.
argue that a car has lungs. You could argue that a car has a heart.
But does it have
You could argue that a car has a mind.
this? And this is the thing, these things I try to convince myself of because I feel it. I'm like, a car doesn't have feelings though, right?
What? Right?
No.
It might have lungs, but a
Yeah,
car doesn't have
but-
feelings.
But
Right?
if
a car doesn't.
Yeah.
Go, please don't crush me, Nick.
It's because it can't talk.
We've
Yeah.
been
We've got
it's
to
not
respect
thinking.
them.
It's not thinking that.
okay, but like
It's not. We mustn't fall into the trap.
if even you, Chris Ray, if every person is a radiant wellspring of life, there is too much life for your body, and it is spilling out and infecting other things around it.
Yeah.
You're not crying for the fucking egg carton. You're crying for the little bit of you left behind.
Oh, fuck
Oh,
it.
Yeah.
in the egg carton. In the egg
You
carton.
left a bit of you in the egg carton. Did you
Oh,
spunk in an
God.
egg carton?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you certainly spunked in your car.
Oh, yeah, well, that goes without
If it
saying.
wasn't an egg carton, what the hell was that?
It bit back.
Oh
I've
God.
never bought milk in my life.
It was a crab. The Japanese have a belief.
Don't blame them for this.
We can't keep blaming the Japanese.
That's true.
I
we,
keep saying it.
we can tariff them.
They've got problems enough. as
Yeah.
it is.
More tariffs.
Yeah,
they,
sorry.
they have a belief that if you love an object and use it and care for it well enough, eventually it will gain sentience.
When's that ever happened?
Well, you know, I mean,
Well,
when's
we-
God-
I want a Japanese person to give me an example of when that's happened.
Well, you're literally feeling sorry for a lawnmower.
I
so-
I
do.
think it's happening right now.
It looks
Yeah.
so sad, John.
Okay. You're a complex man, Chris. Right?
It just looks so sad.
Yeah, but that automated lawnmower has a brain.
Going
It has a
up-
computer chip
going
inside
up
it.
and down,
Who's to say there's not a level of
up and down.
consciousness in that?
Oh, he's
Is
just
an ant? See, this is the point, right? You've got to start drawing a line at sentience. Okay,
Ye- right.
So if we're going to argue that an automated lawnmower isn't sentient,
Yeah.
right, which I'm willing to admit for sake of logic right now. Thank you.
Thank you. What a hero.
Thank you.
Brave man. Yeah.
So, like, because it's not thinking,
yeah,
it just reacts to and operates from a series of commands, right?
yeah.
Could you say the same for an ant? Do we believe here in this room, three men?
When
Do
did
we believe an ant is sentient?
I feel you're brushing up against a different question here because I feel you could have a whole conversation about the lawnmower. Where do we stand on the egg carton?
But a lawnmower is not a lawnmower.
My
It's not
point
alive.
is more.
It's not alive. It's never been alive.
No. My point is life is born out of complexity, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say now, egg carton is not alive, John. Fuck off.
Okay.
You're
well,
wrong.
I mean,
Lawnmower.
so he's taking the Catholic position.
Yeah.
Lawnmower could be alive.
Could be
But
alive.
with-
If we're going to admit
But
an
it's
ant
been
is,
made. It's man-made.
doesn't matter.
I mean, it
Take
could be,
that part
it
out
could
of
be
the
argued like a bacteria. It's just responding to stimuli.
It's
not,
just a little machine,
Yeah.
right? Just like the lawnmower is a machine.
not composing
Like,
a
I
sonnet.
don't think a bacteria
I can't
is
have a
sentient.
conversation that makes me feel worse for the lawnmower. This is the problem I have already, and now you're telling me
There's a chance.
there's a
Yeah.
chance
It could be alive.
You can't tell me things like this. And what's it doing now? It's dark now.
Yeah.
What the fuck's
It's
it doing
probably
now?
recharging in its little kennel, and that's the chance it gets to rest.
And it's just thinking, oh, I've had a busy
gone-
day.
it's gone back-
lawnmowing.
Yeah.
I've had a busy day of it.
But its lawnmower wife doesn't want to hear it.
Well,
she's got her
Here's
own
the thing.
problems.
I brought this up at work, and they were like,
What,
yeah,
lawnmower
there's
wife?
3 of them.
What?
I'm like, there's a family.
What?
Oh my god, it's
They're
one
all-
smaller than the others.
And they get separated every day to go and mow different
Do they all
parts
go
of the
back
campus.
to the same charging
I
kennel?
guess.
Well, at least they get a chance to be
They guess
reunited.
and they talk about their day. How was your day? Oh yeah, I
haven't
went up
grown
and down
much.
the fields mowing. What about you? Yeah,
Yeah.
went up and down the fields mowing.
Mowing.
You
They
know,
talk via Bluetooth.
What
though.
an existence!
But coming back to you makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah, I do it for you, baby.
Yeah.
Is that not just an allegory for the 9 to 5 working life that we all share?
Yeah, I think that song's about lawnmowers.
Oh, right, fine.
Yeah, Dolly
I
Parton.
have a green mug that I've been drinking coffee out
Green
of
mug.
for years.
Is
Here we go.
that its official name?
Yeah, well, I'm not a scientician. I don't know.
That's its given name.
Yeah, like
Wouldn't
yeah,
you feel awful if something happened to Green Mug, John?
I would.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
it.
no, it's my point. That green mug,
If he was in
I have
pain-
I have an affinity to. I feel that coffee tastes better
Yeah.
when I drink it out of that green
But do you
mug.
think that coffee has feelings?
No, coffee. No. I'm not saying the
coffee
coffee
mug.
isn't alive. I'm just saying that I don't recognise
coffee
it.
mug.
I have a very strict.
If that coffee
dogmatic-
mug broke,
yeah.
would you feel bad for it having hurt itself?
I would feel that has.
Would you just feel bad for yourself?
I don't know if I'd necessarily think of it as being sentient, but I would think of it as being like it has been a friend to me.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah,
This is it.
It has offered loyal service for years.
Sure.
And no one will cry when it's gone, but I'll miss it.
But it's very hard to stand and go, it's a friend to me, and then separate that from it being alive.
Yeah.
That's the problem, right? Is that all of my other friends, which I don't have many of,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure are sentient.
Yeah.
Well, we can't.
I
we don't
had
know,
as a
so-
I
kid
don't know for sure.
had a Thomas the Tank Engine toy that I buried in the sand at the seaside. Never found it.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
I feel awful about it.
Do you
Yeah.
still feel awful about
I
it?
still feel awful about it
Yeah,
now.
that's-
Still talking about it
That's really bad.
That
feel
is
awful.
that is yeah. That
because
cuts,
it had a face, right?
that cuts deep.
Maybe
yeah.
that's it. It had a face.
We were driving home from somewhere and we saw a teddy that had just been left at the side of a pavement.
Oh no.
And Ali burst into tears.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's really bad.
And she wasn't even sad for that because I clarified, because I interrogated her at this point, right? Because that's the right thing to do when you.
Why are you crying again?
Why?
Why are you
Why do
crying?
you always cry?
Stop crying!
Why?
Yeah. Someone interrogating the tears.
And I was like, "Are you sad because a kid has lost their teddy?"
Yeah,
And
or
she's
you
like,
sad-
"No, I don't give a
sad
shit
for-
about the child.
I'm sad
She's
for the
sad
ted-
for the teddy."
Yeah.
Teddy on
100%.
its own.
And
Did
I
you
think
take it home?
Nope.
no.
She did consider turning back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think on some level we're sad for ourselves. I feel like the teddy is the best part of ourselves, and it's always
Maybe.
there's a part of us which is always sitting on a curb.
There's a powerful, poetic beauty to what you're saying, but I think the answer's much simpler. The teddy's alive.
It's not. But it's not. We can't tell people that their teddies are alive. We can't.
Teddy's alive.
No.
It's got a face, Chris.
Yeah, it's got a face. So's the lawnmower.
Yeah, I was going to say, I bet the fucking lawnmower has a face.
It looked like if you had put eyes on it,
And it looks sad, didn't it?
it would look sad.
What is okay? I don't know if it brushes up against like it's alive, but what is? Can you name another completely innocuous item in your house which you would genuinely mourn like a loved one if you lost it?
That's a good question.
Oh, that is a good question.
And it would have to be. It can't be like something like a wedding photo. It's got to be like
No.
something completely.
But I also feel like sometimes what's powerful is that it has a function that you rely on a little bit. That's why cars always get me, because I'm like, they've been on so much of a journey with me.
I think if my little dedicated gooseneck kettle broke,
Yeah.
I think I'd feel sad because
Yeah.
I use that like 5 times a day and I
that's
love
fair.
it.
But would you feel bad for it being useful in your life, or would you feel bad for it in of itself?
I think yes on
That it
some
was-
level.
that
No,
it
I
was
think
it-
yes on some level.
That it had been abandoned,
because
that it was in pain.
Because the very fact it existed, it played a part in my little story.
Yeah.
It was more than just a kettle. It was a thing to me that mattered.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a good example. The one that's popping into my head is Liz had a knife when we met, just in case. Just in case. No, a kitchen knife
on a person.
on her person.
When you
Just
met.
on our first date, she just had it in her pocket,
Just
in
got
case.
taped to her ankle.
It's just the world we live in now.
Just in
Yeah.
case. Just in case.
Yeah,
No, it was in her flat, and we still have it, and we call it the good knife.
the good night. Oh, there we
And
go.
then I sing to it. It's the good knife.
That's good.
the kind of
Yeah.
fun
He
we
probably
have.
really likes that.
It's the kind of fun we have in my house.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And I'd feel bad if that were to break, or we were to lose it at the beach, or anything like that.
I think for
when
me,
you take the knife for a walk.
We bury it at the beach.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I buried the knife.
it does need to have a face for me. To
Yeah,
some extent.
I think the more I think about it, the more I think it's a facial thing.
My parents have a butter knife,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
honestly, like,
it's a good one.
if we ever get to a point of discussing wills,
Yeah, you want it.
I want that butter knife.
Yeah,
Like,
Really?
it's got a chip in the handle
Yeah,
Why?
because
just spreads so well.
it's very hard to describe.
Yeah, I hear you. I
It's-
like all that kind of
It's a
thing.
great knife.
Yeah.
really
It's a
good knife.
really good knife. Like
You should ask about that.
I spent my whole childhood buttering bread with that.
Yeah.
I'd love to have that.
But also,
knife.
I think there's an aspect, because I've got a few things like that, which items that you use or whatever that you've used for years and years.
Yeah.
I think there's an aspect of like it's an injustice to get rid of it,
yeah.
because it's like it hasn't done anything wrong. It's still doing it's still serving its purpose.
Why would you replace
Why would
something
you
that
replace
still
it?
works so
Yeah.
If
well?
I throw that out, it's
It
like
served you
oh,
loyally.
But Nick, I helped you so much with all your buttering. Like
It served you
Yeah.
as a family loyally
Yeah.
for 30 odd years.
it's always done what
Yeah.
it was supposed
It's
to
a
do.
metaphor for the human condition.
And if you put eyes on it, it would then have a face. You put
Indeed,
little
which is
goggly
also
eyes.
a metaphor for the
Metaphor
human
for-
condition.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that as
There's
well.
that thing, isn't there? That's like it's a word for seeing faces and things. It's something we do.
Para ideology.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Something
yeah.
like that.
Lovely
Yeah.
stuff.
Why do I know that? I just forgot my.
Pulled that out of thin air, didn't
just
you?
forgot my pin.
Yeah. My insulin.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I just,
Seems like we all agree.
I'm worrying about this lawnmower now. I'm worrying where it is, what it's doing.
I think I brought up a very similar thing to this on this show years ago
Oh, I don't remember.
when I was printing labels, address labels for,
Yes.
for fulfilling orders, and I would set a print job going, and then I would and it would take like 2 hours to print all my labels,
Sure.
and
Oh,
I would always
weird
feel
flex.
you what? Yeah,
Weird flex.
So many labels, so many orders, John.
Yeah.
I would always feel so bad for the printer
Working hard.
because he's working so hard.
He's working so hard, that printer.
He's not
I
getting
know.
paid.
He's not
He's
getting
not
paid.
getting-
He's not getting paid extra,
No,
is he, for all that hard work?
no, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I feel
It's
like
mad. It's mad, by the way.
no,
In all
no,
seriousness,
no.
it's absolutely
But
mad
this
that
is-
we're going, fucking hell. I feel
poor
awful
little-
for that prince.
poor little-
Fucking
But this
prince.
is really interesting, isn't it? Though, because Japanese Shintoism, you know, you'd have these little shrines
Sure.
that people would put up
Yeah.
for like a place and a thing.
The spirits of things, the spirits of places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember listening to a great podcast, and it was about.
Was it this one?
Yeah, oh well, no, I said a great podcast.
You did say
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It was about a
That was
guy
my
who
mistake.
lived in San Francisco, and he had like not much of like a garden, but he had like a raised platform above like the street, and he said like junk kept getting chucked onto it every day, just rubbish, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So he went to a gardening center and he bought like literally like for like $10 like a cheap plaster Buddha statue,
Oh yeah.
and he just put it on there. You know,
Right.
like just thinking like, oh well, fuck, maybe it'll just make it look a bit
I'll
nicer.
put something there. Yeah.
But there was quite a big community of folks in the area he was living in for whom like the Buddha kind of meant something. And he said like after a day or so he walked past and he noticed like this is good. I stress this is like a garden ornament.
Yeah.
People had started leaving offerings
Mad.
in front of the Buddha, and like after like a
Yeah.
week or two, someone had painted it white and built like a little shrine around
Yeah.
it. And so suddenly, like, him and his wife were like, I think we have like a shrine in
Yeah.
our front garden, and there was no more rubbish, and everyone. But I think it's really interesting because I'm not like, I find religion and belief very fascinating, but I'm not that. But I do find it kind of magical when something like that happens. It's like, well, look, who's to say?
I know.
You know, you could say to yourself, well, look, God exists in a church or whatever, but like, God could exist in a dirty little
Sure.
yard with a bloody kind of gardening centre ornament. But people cared. It suddenly became like a cheap thing. Suddenly meant something to a bunch of people.
I like your idea of humans being a well of consciousness so we could potentially overflow and pour consciousness into other things. I think that's really, really interesting because, like, arguably you could say that writing a story is like creating a world, and then potentially the characters you've written or drawn into that story are now weirdly like living that little universe that's just been created for them.
Yeah.
And when we read the story, we literally think that we are watching the lives of the characters we're looking at, right? So it's like, if consciousness is simply just a symptom of perception, then they are alive purely because we perceive them to be so. And like, you can't really argue with that because my only understanding that you are sentient or conscious is because I both perceive and believe that you are.
Yes.
Which means you are no different from a character drawn in a fucking comic book or a Buddha on someone's
Or
suit.
that lawnmower, although the lawnmower works harder.
Definitely works harder than you.
Yeah. Does someone you've never met or are aware of exist?
Here we go.
There's people out there you don't know or will never know of.
I've thought this before.
Do they exist?
The Doogs are about to make themselves known. Like, finally, guys, it took 180 episodes or whatever. We're finally getting into the territory of philosopher kings. This is lovely.
This is going to
This
go
is
too
great.
far. This is going to go too far.
Maturity. This is happening. No.
I mean, yeah, right?
Yeah. But
They
this
do
is
exist.
This is
That's the answer.
Well, the eternal debate. I'm sure if you found a philosophy professor, you could have a whole discourse on this.
Yeah.
I remember being
I regret
taught...
taking A-level philosophy now.
I
It's
remember
led me
being...
to this moment.
Did you take A-level philosophy?
Yeah.
Did you?
Fucking right.
What the hell? You took A-level philosophy?
Plato.
Shadows
Can't
on
just-
shadows on the wall of the cave.
Aristotle.
Just say Plato.
God, this is a big thing. I thought you
Plato.
did like
Heard
I
about
thought you did like
Pla-
physical education.
Well, Plato and the allegory.
Wood studies.
I'm going to hit you with an allegory now, John.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Plato and the allegory of the cave. If you live in a cave your whole life,
That's the whole, your
that's
whole world.
your world. That's the world you live in. That's
Yeah.
the world you inhabit. And therefore, there is still a world outside the cave. Maybe we're living in the cave because we can't comprehend or see or have
man.
access to this other world.
This is suddenly making a lot of sense. I've always thought you had like a certain earthy wisdom,
Yeah.
like a farmer or
Fucking
someone who
Plato,
or someone who
honestly.
works with their
Fucking
hands.
Plato, mate.
Fucking
Yeah.
Plato's a madman.
But isn't it interesting? Like we're
Yes.
just three
Oh,
chumbos.
yes, it is.
We're just three chumbos
Here we are.
and we've kind of proven, I think, without
Shredded
unequivocally, that you can have compassion for a lawnmower. So I'm just saying, like,
Oh, I just feel awful.
No, I just mean like, if literally the average human being has the capacity within them to feel infinite kindness and compassion for like a cup or a lawnmower
Yeah.
or a teddy bear on the side of a road, how fucked up do you have to be to swallow that and grow up to be an asshole?
Oh,
Yeah.
Because literally, if like the average person who's just going about their life, living a modest, decent life, and can still feel sorry for an inanimate object, like how fucked up do you have to be to grow up to be like a JD Vance
Yeah.
or something like that? What has to be wrong with your brain?
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right to say that because there is a fundamental theory. I said this to you the other day that the idea of being able to track whether someone is stupid is to follow cruelty,
Yeah,
right? Because we're all of us lizard brain animals. Our first instinct is to fear and to judge something we don't know and we don't understand, right?
Yeah.
We have to evolve to a higher level to be able to go beyond that and understand, empathize, and be compassionate towards things that are perhaps new, scary, or unfamiliar. And Therefore, if you can see someone being judgmental, disgusting, assholery towards someone else, cruel, then you know they haven't evolved to the level to be able to be empathetic and compassionate, and therefore they are fundamentally stupider
and full of shit, because a lot of these people hide behind religion and goodness and Christianity or whatever religion you care to mention. If they truly believed in something after this life, they wouldn't be the way they are. I believe they wouldn't be cruel, they wouldn't be nasty, they wouldn't be in it for themselves, they wouldn't just want to make good for themselves. They would do things that were good for other people and were good for the future of this and whatever other beings there are or will be, not just in it for themselves.
Yeah.
So they're full of shit in that regard.
You're right.
Because I think, like, if we are oceans of kind of infinite life that can suddenly add a bit of, like, personality and love to a fucking pen, I think also...
I miss that pen so much.
But, like,
I hope he's all right.
I think... I don't know, like, your bloody knife. I mean, like, I think it means we have...
It's the good knife.
We have a capacity for, like, infinite compassion.
I like singing to that knife.
Wells of infinite compassion. I think something has to go very wrong for you to forget that.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's been very great. I really hope the next hate is about farts or something like that, because we've got
farts. Have you got one
it's not about farts.
What about farts?
It's definitely not as deep as all that, though. I don't like miming.
No, yeah, that is a good one.
Wait, sorry, mimes or miming?
Specifically, the act of miming.
I think I know. Yeah.
So are we talking charades based, or are we talking...
I mean, in the capacity of any kind of performance. I guess if you're, like, chatting to your mate and you want to try and, like, gesticulate the way you turned a tap on this morning because it was funny or something, and you kind of mime for that effect, that's kind of fine. Like, I don't really mind that. But if you are a performer and you're putting on some sort of show...
Yeah.
And this is the context in which I most recently encountered miming. Sure. Because I've been watching a lot of improv comedy.
Oh.
Yeah. On the YouTubes.
The YouTubes.
Yes. Particularly one channel called Dropout. It used to be called College Humor. Very, very funny people doing very, very funny things and getting prompts in the moment and having to... You remember, like, that show, Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yes.
It's a lot like that.
I see.
But sort of like for a modern age. And they're very good. They're very, very funny. But sometimes their jokes or their little scenarios that they're playing through, they need just a little bit more to be able to sell the joke. But of course, they don't have any props. This is happening in the moment. So they kind of have to mime it. And it just fucking ruins it for me every time. When they, I'm going to do it. This is inherently an audio medium. So, like...
People won't see this.
Okay, we'll try and describe it.
But let's
describe what Nick is miming.
They had to mime, like, opening a treasure chest. And they sort of go...
Yeah.
Like that.
Nick is now moving his hands and opening
like
the
that.
chest.
There's the lid.
And looking
aghast,
yeah.
I'm just instantly flaccid.
I think...
Yeah, me too.
I think this is why I don't...
Full erection before that.
I think
well, always for this podcast.
I lost my near constant erection.
Yeah.
I think this is why I don't like musical theatre.
Yeah, no, see, I thought this was going to come up. Yeah, because I actually do like musical theatre, and I do like theatre, and I do like... And I know you don't, and I know the cringe... I think we all have different cringe thresholds, right?
Yeah. Mine's very low.
Yours is very low.
Because I think the moment, if you have to project something to the...
And that's how I got into Juilliard.
Yeah. I love you,
That's what you were going for, yeah?
I know. Sorry, like... I it's a reference for nobody.
I know.
Yeah, like, I think the moment you have to make any minor human gesture so big that it can be seen by the nosebleeds.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because I brought this today because I don't necessarily know why I hate it. Because at the end of the day, like, I do see theatre as, like, quite a cool art. It's something I'm not especially good at and haven't really done very much of. But, like, I don't know. I respect it. And I see the moment of improv. It's like, yeah, okay, well, you don't have props, so you've got to do something. And sometimes some mimes can sell something quite well, like make something look heavy. Like, for example, they might sling something onto their shoulder. And they'll do that thing where
it's not really heavy.
Their whole body sags as if, and their knees bend as though they're
not really
taking
heavy.
the weight of something. And there is a moment where I go, oh, that's quite smart performance. But the whole thing, don't like it. I really don't like it, and I don't know why.
I feel like because
there's
there's an idea.
Johnny's now pointing.
There's an idea
He's miming.
Oh no! Oh, it's come for me. There's an idea that, like, art is the relationship between the artist and the audience.
He's being quite visual.
He is actually.
I'm waving my hand.
It's worth pointing out
oh
you're
my
being
god!
quite
Sorry,
visual
I've
here.
become everything I hate.
Yeah, wind it in, John.
But it's only in observing that, like, the art appears. Yeah, it begins. You need an audience, or it isn't art. So, like, the moment I see someone miming, I've been drawn into this, whether I like
unwillingly,
whether I like it or not. I'm now part of this weird perversion, and I'm not enjoying it.
I don't like audience participation at all. We went to see a very funny play that I think actually you would have enjoyed, even with your cringe threshold.
Bold claims.
Which was a on stage, very rapid retelling of Jurassic Park.
Okay, yeah.
But it was just two guys,
Sure.
and a girl at a table with a load of sound effects things that she made noises for. The beauty of it was, not once did they mime, because their stage was covered in props. So whenever they had to do a thing, they would grab a thing to do it. And one of the props was a car door that they'd made out of cardboard.
Nice.
So for all the scenes when they're getting in and out of those little jeeps that they're in Jurassic Park, they had this little door.
Nice.
You know, and so never once did they have to mime. And so I loved that show, because there was no miming in that, and it was very funny, and they were very silly. But there was one moment where they climbed off the stage and they went into the audience, and it's I can't remember which bit of the film it was now, but either way, I was sat so right in the centre, and there was no like central aisle.
Right.
I knew I was safe, but the first thought went through my head, like, oh, thank God.
That's always good for you.
Thank God I'm not at the edges, because that was going to get drawn in. And then my biggest fear is, how much do I give them? Do I give them nothing because they're the performers and I'm here as an audience? Or
an audience singular.
yeah. Or do I try and be funny? And do I try and join in? And at which point I steal a bit of the spotlight, and maybe they wouldn't like that.
No, maybe.
It's just like, oh fuck, I don't know what line to walk there.
Yeah,
fuck that.
Yeah.
I used to think anyone who did any kind of dance or interpretive dance was a prick. I did. Okay. Now I kind
philosophy student Chris Ray.
Yeah, you have just ruined all of your.
But now I kind of admire that they don't give a shit, or ultimately quite like what they're doing. Like at the we went to see the musical of The Lion King at the Bristol Hippodrome.
Nice.
And a hyena stood on my foot.
Really?
What?
Yeah. Someone well, they weren't really a hyena. It was a performer being a hyena.
Oh my god! I don't know.
Stood on my foot. And was like in my face going, "Rah!" And I was like, I kind of admire that you did that and you had the balls to do that to me, a stranger.
Did they stand on your foot on purpose?
I guess. My foot was in the aisle, to be fair.
It seems like it could have been a mistake.
It might have been. But I still admired what they did.
I feel like you're reading a lot into this footstepping.
I shouted quite loudly. I was, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. It was quite shocking.
It takes a lot of training, I guess, to completely suppress your social
inhibitions.
Yeah, your social embarrassment.
Yes, this is something I'm
incapable I admire that about it.
I have been in plays. In my adult years, I've been in plays.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Spat everywhere then. That wasn't a mime. And I never suppressed. Like, I never... people say I became the character. And my nerves disappeared.
You did. If you were doing Amdram, you didn't.
No, exactly. And I was 100%, probably actually more, 110% myself. I actually became more myself,
more conscious,
more humiliated, and more embarrassed than I'd ever been in my life.
I really
still managed to perform.
The character. I'm sure good actors do.
I'm sure that's possible,
but you weren't that. Probably
certainly not.
And I definitely have.
I was more myself than I've ever been.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'll tell you what the worst physical acting you consistently see is: people doing CPR.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because they can't go as deep as
you
they
can't.
need to.
You physically,
you'll break their ribs.
They all bend their
ribs.
They all do that. They all bend their elbows while they're doing it.
You're right.
We watch a lot of Casualty,
as
in the drama Casualty, and people do that.
Just go to the A&E.
And it's very clear that they bend in their elbows, and you're like, you can't do that without looking shit.
Yeah.
And it's funny, John, because you brought up drinking out of cups, didn't you?
Yes, indeed.
That's
drinking. Yeah.
And that kind of plays a little bit into this. Is the idea of selling a performance and stuff. I still feel as though a good actor should be able to pretend to drink out of an empty cup. But
yes,
when you said miming, my first thought was to what the internet is now.
Oh yeah,
and how so many videos that people upload to the internet are them miming to some dialogue from a movie.
Yeah, like doing a lip sync.
What is that? What is that?
Yeah.
People lip syncing to Whatever.
So this is TikTok's fault.
There's a thing that gives me a...
Why is that good though? Why is that good?
I think a lot of people, it's kind of like a shorthand to performance. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know that famous monologue that so-and-so does in movie 6?
Oh yeah,
Like,
I love that movie.
what if I did that monologue?
Yeah.
But because I don't have to do the actual performance, the speaking part of it, I can add all these facial expressions and all of these gesticulations
Now,
and things.
this is not a bit, because for the listener at home, Nick was doing some exaggerated hand movements at this point.
We're having to do a lot of...
I actually made myself feel a bit sick.
And I experienced quite a visceral anti-erection.
Go back
Your
up inside
own dick pierced yourself back in.
It makes me so uncomfortable when people do the... Okay, well, look at this. A lot of animation...
Oh, yes.
Animation does a lot of slightly exaggerated hand movements.
Big movements.
Because like musical theatre... You're trying to sell a lot in a short space of time.
Yeah.
So when a character, say like a Disney character, is talking, they would move their hands an incredible amount more.
Lots of flourishing.
Than a normal person would, because you're trying to project to the back.
Yeah.
And so when a human mimes to that, both vocally and physically... it's like the uncanny valley for me. Like it makes me feel kind of sick.
It's kind of non-human behaviour.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like they're a person anymore. It looks like they're an alien pretending to be a person because they only watch Disney movies and they think that's what people are.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, like, people say, "Oh, you're such a good actor. You're so good at miming." The point is, like, a big thing about being an actor.
I don't want to be thinking that
imagine.
someone's acting though.
No.
I don't want to be watching someone thinking, "Oh, they're good at acting."
They're definitely acting.
Yeah.
Surely the best actors ever are when you forget you're even watching
you're
someone
watching
being someone else.
Yeah.
The point is, you're meant to be like. Occasionally, you'd have to act in a role that wasn't in your comfort zone.
Yes.
You know, your role this evening is you're playing boring man in background, just stand there and do nothing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can't just be in your comfort zone all the time. That's what makes you a real actor.
I think that's the inherent problem when it comes to improv is that literally every moment they are taking on a different character. They're being a different role. And that's what's funny about it. That's what I like about it.
Yeah.
Because don't get me wrong, I actually really like watching improv comedy. But it's only when mime creeps in that it's a problem. But they are constantly having to be such wildly different characters from 1 minute to the next.
Yes.
And then suddenly, they're not in their comfort zone anymore.
Yeah, I have a weird relationship with improv, where like it makes me quite kind of uncomfortable in a weird way.
I think a really big part of it as well is they have to be really good.
Yeah.
Because if they are even 99% good, then you can see that 1%
just slightly off it,
just glowing.
Yeah.
And it's like they look awkward, they look embarrassed, and the instant they're embarrassed, I'm embarrassed, and I'm not having a good time.
I have a weird pocket theory that like we don't like. I feel like when you're laughing at something, you're very vulnerable because I think it's an honest reaction. You'll
an attack.
Well, were
from a hyena.
Because I think
it's the good night.
Because you can't fake laughing. So I think to be actually,
that's correct, John.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Because I think you have to give yourself unequivocally when
I think that's true.
Moment.
Yeah,
genuine.
So Sarah, if someone came up to you and was like, "Hey, guys, like you've got to see this. You've got to see this comedian." Johnny
Well, we were watching funnies before.
Indeed, and I think I have a pocket
laughter.
theory that whenever you encounter a new comedian or someone brings something to you that they tell you is very funny, unless you trust that person a lot, I feel like there's always a slight defensiveness when you encounter a new comedian because it's like you don't want to give yourself like unwillingly to something that isn't funny.
Though? Like why are we like that?
Because I have like a handful of comedians that like I've known over years, and now I trust them, and I let myself laugh and be vulnerable when they do a joke. But if like just some dickhead turns up and says the same joke,
slightly reserved.
because I'll be a bit like I don't know you.
Yeah,
I've got to be.
Why should I laugh at you?
I don't know if I want to laugh at you.
Yeah, I've got to be comfortable.
You deserve whether you deserve.
I think that is inherently true, isn't it? Like you're only going to laugh if you're comfortable. Like someone could say the funniest thing ever, and if I've got a knife sticking out of my leg and I'm bleeding out, probably not going to laugh.
It is a good knife, though.
Oh, the good
It's the good knife.
I've got hate.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
And this is Disneyland related.
Ba-da-ba-bow, you hate Disneyland. Wait, that's not.
And everything about
What was
it.
that music?
That was Grange Hill. Oh, what up?
Old Grange Hill as well.
Yeah.
Grange Hill.
There's new Grange Hill.
Yeah, well, no, like
Grange
in the
Hill X.
90s, there was like 80s Grange Hill theme tune, which was that one. And there was no, that's Grandstand. That's bad. There was another Grange Hill theme tune.
There was. You're right. There was.
I was doing Grandstand.
This is the death of audio. What
Yeah.
you're describing.
But there is another Grange Hill.
Okay, so I hate people FaceTiming experiences.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck right off. Fuck right off these people who do this.
Oh, I thought you were saying.
no, not
to
John.
John. Then
John knows what
I
I'm
was
saying.
so excited
Yeah.
for a massive fight then.
No, so
John knows I'm on board with this already. Before I even said it.
one of the
Fuck right off.
one of the magical or challenging things about Disneyland is that every night at 9 p.m. there's a magical firework display.
Fireworks extravaganza.
And tens upon thousands of people gather on the main plaza to look at the firework display.
It's
now-
the castle.
Lucy and I did this one night. Nick, you did it 2 nights.
I did.
Which is quite a degree of dedication.
Didn't have a very
I
good
feel.
view first night. I wanted to see it better. So.
Indeed, yes. Now,
Well, you didn't have a very good view of the sky.
It's yeah. It's
you
all,
mean?
it's all in a dome. No,
What
they project onto the castle.
Oh, right, fine. I thought you meant fireworks.
there were fireworks.
There were a
I
lot.
thought you meant
There
you
were
could
a
see
lot of
fireworks.
Yeah. So again, not my natural environment, but the moment those but again, you're there, in for a penny, in for a pound. You got to experience this.
Yeah.
Moment fireworks go off, you're in a heaving mass of bodies. Like there are so many people, it's unreal. And
All asking you, isn't this magical, John?
is this magical? And I'm like, yes. Yes, it is magical.
Yes,
So
it's
I'm
magical.
there with Lucy, and we're holding on tightly to each other, trying not to be
Because you will lose
separated
each other
by
forever,
the
otherwise.
crowd.
Yeah, which you would.
And
yeah.
the moment the
Another one lost.
the moment the magic TM and whimsy TM begin,
He was like this all fucking week.
Yeah.
I was.
Of course, a lot of this.
Insufferable.
Of course, a lot of this is under international copyright law. Oh, God. Give it a rest.
Oh my god.
Bloody hell, John.
I reined it in a little.
Sure.
He did a little.
Yeah.
It's fair. It's
Yeah.
fair. He did. a
I
little.
enjoyed Rags.
Yeah.
But
Mickey TM.
If that is his real name.
but
What's the actor's name? Tell me, Jean-Pierre.
the moment the whimsy was broadcast in fucking Dolby surround sound, everybody whipped out their phone.
They did.
So
Yeah.
it's like a concert. And
don't. honestly.
Lucy, bless her, had a phone jammed in front of her face
Right.
because a
Really?
woman standing maybe like a foot in front of her and a foot to the side with a child on her shoulders
Jesus
couldn't
Christ.
quite get the view she wanted. So she held out a phone
And
to film this magical, and right in front of our face. And then when she wasn't filming, she was FaceTiming her schlubby family, who I could see on the screen because they're all just like on a sofa in their vests.
John, imagine if you just hung up.
Yeah, just press the red button on there. That'd have been great.
That would have been so good because she wouldn't have known.
I can't. We've definitely spoken about in terms of filming concerts and things like that
Yeah.
before, but I can't stand it.
Yeah,
But going back to the schlubby family in vests on a sofa, like, what were they getting out of it?
yeah.
Have they asked
Now-
to be? Have they? Oh, make sure you phone us during the fireworks because
Yeah.
we really
now,
want to
now,
see that.
I just want to
phone.
put it on air. There are some things I may not wish to legally commit to a podcast, but can I just say, Nick, if that option had been in front of me, I would have been sorely tempted to do exactly what you're describing,
I would
and
have
it was only
loved-
the grace of God that stopped me from.
That would have been terrific.
But it's like
It really would have been.
what's the story here? Because you've come to the most magical place on earth.
But you've left some schlubs behind.
You've less.
Imagine spending however much you spend to go there.
You left a
You've
few
left schlubs
You
behind.
left a few schlubs.
you have a real
Here's
pedestrian
footage of
slum.
something you weren't invited
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, you couldn't afford to take them all.
So all I can see in place of the magic castle
Don't go.
is a schlubby
don't
individual
go.
like head
Just
like leaning on a sofa, white vest, like head resting on fist, and just going like,
I want to know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And this happened on multiple occasions throughout our time in Disneyland.
I want to know. Right, 2 questions. 1, how often do people look back at their footage of fireworks?
Never.
Never. Yeah.
2, who asks to see your footage of fireworks on your phone?
No one.
Especially at events that are surrounded by high-definition cameras and are available readily online.
Yeah, if you go to YouTube and type in, like...
Disney fireworks
event for
Disney will have an
Paris,
official video of
They
that.
will.
Guarantee it.
Yeah.
In
and
high
it'll
definition.
be way better than your shitty phone footage.
It's like people, like, for example, I don't know, when the king was crowned or that kind of thing.
Sent into space.
Literally, when the king was sent into space. Yeah, that's another good one.
Exploded.
The whole thing is surrounded by dozens of high-definition cameras. Literally, it's high-definition cameras everywhere. Yeah. If you want to watch anything back, watch that.
Go buy the Blu-ray.
Don't watch anyone's shitty phone footage. Just be there. Don't get your phone out. Just be there. Remember it for what it was in your own eyes.
It's wild, isn't it?
You don't need to look at it through a tiny screen when you're actually there. I don't know why. I don't get it at all.
I honestly don't, because all you're doing in the moment of this magic and majesty and awesomeness, you are focusing on your little screen.
Yeah.
You're viewing the event through that, and you're also putting some attention into trying to do a good shot.
Yeah.
Holding your phone steady, keeping the castle in the middle of the shot. All of that.
All you will remember is what's on your phone, and that's a pity. I think.
That's a really good point.
I'll get my phone out and take a quick picture sometimes of, like, if I'm at a football game, and go like, dink, right, done, phone away,
and
crack on.
And I feel a little bad sometimes that I don't take more photos.
So do I.
But I try to make a point of just
enjoying
the moment.
Depends what it's of.
If something really cool is happening to me, I don't want to whip out a camera.
I don't think to.
Yeah.
And
if it's that special a memory, you don't need a photo of it.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Really, unless it's like a post photo, like if it's a family event. Hey everyone, let's get a quick picture to commemorate this special event.
And I know I'm not good at calling those moments.
Yeah.
But we have friends that are good at calling those moments, and so then I tend to benefit off the back of that.
But I don't. That's the difference. A photo to commemorate it that takes 10 seconds max.
Yeah.
And everyone's in for and organised for and has been told what's happening. Good.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of the day. Don't go to events and just look at your phone.
I got a new second-hand phone recently.
Oh, yeah.
And I transferred all my old photos onto my new.
I got a new second-hand phone.
Yeah, and I transferred all my old photos onto my new phone.
12 of them.
And then the new phone was like,
yeah,
all 12 of them.
Chuckles. And then the new phone was like,
all my Disneyland pictures.
That's too many photos.
Oh, really?
So I took,
for any man to have.
For any man to have.
Yeah.
So I transferred all the photos off my phone. That's maybe 5 years worth of photos.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
13 photos.
Stuck it at my hard
and once
drive.
both of them have been transferred.
And this is the thing, right?
I'm never going to look at them again now.
I know.
Yeah.
I've done the same. I've done old phones and transferred stuff, and I've got a hard drive at home disconnected from my computer that isn't, it's just on a shelf.
Yeah.
It's like, am I ever going to plug that hard drive back in and go through those thousands of photos?
No. The answer is no.
The answer is no.
Yeah.
And I should just get rid of them. Weirdly, a slight part of me can't. In the same way that you loaded them onto a hard drive rather than just deleted them. But I still won't look at them.
No.
And I certainly wouldn't look back at a video of fucking the Disney castle.
No.
But nobody would. Nobody would.
But you're right to say it wasn't just that. Literally, there were people walking around the park.
Yep.
Live on a call with a little schlub on their screen.
Yeah.
And it was. I saw exactly a similar thing. It was like a dude who obviously hadn't gone with his wife to Disneyland. He said, "Oh, Disneyland's fucking shit. I'm not going to that. I'm not paying for that shit."
Yeah.
But then asked her, I guess, or she inflicted
Disneyland.
it upon him to call. And all she's doing is just walking.
Yeah.
They're just walking around the park, and he's just seeing this shaky fucking footage of just a theme park he's not at.
I don't know what would make this better. Maybe if the person on the other end of the phone was I don't know, wearing a suit, sitting in a powerful office. But they all look like sacks of shit.
They're all just schlubs.
Yeah, everyone's a massive schlub.
But if you wanted footage of someone walking around Disneyland or just any footage of Disneyland, it's readily available.
Again,
Yeah.
YouTube is there.
Done by a
absolute
professional
dude.
production company.
But also, it's like, it's Wednesday, my dude. You know, like, what?
Yeah, Wednesday at 3:30 in the afternoon.
Do you not have anything better
Just
to do?
go and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, send me a text.
You didn't go, so you don't get to see it. And you shouldn't want to either.
It's like Star Wars Celebration. I remember when we went, there was a guy filming himself, and Liz was pregnant at the time, and he was twirling around with his phone, filming himself, and he nearly walked into Liz, and I just pushed him out of the way. I just went, literally, fuck right off. Honestly. What the fuck are you doing?
Just fuck away.
I literally just shoved him out of the way.
Fuck away.
Yeah.
Please fuck away.
And they do. And then, like the stage things at Star Wars Celebration, which again is being filmed in high definition and is available live on YouTube.
Everyone's got their phones out.
Everyone's got their fucking phones out. What the fuck is that?
It is insane.
I have enough issues with Comic-Con now as it is. You could not pay me to go to a Star Wars Celebration. I think that would be nightmarish.
No, I think.
What even happens? Like what?
I mean, I quite enjoyed it, but I didn't. I don't like the.
What's the meat of the show though? Like what is there to do there?
What did we do?
Are there like stalls?
There were like stalls and like exhibits of droids and things like that, and that was quite.
Which
good
are
fun.
like actual props and things.
Yeah, or look at nearest damn it to the real thing, and I quite enjoyed all that. I like not just Star Wars. I just like the way movies are made and props.
Yeah.
I find that quite interesting.
No, I like that.
So I enjoyed all that kind of thing. I'd go again when Jacob's old enough to sort of appreciate it. I would take him. I don't think Liz would be interested.
I don't like Star Wars, Daddy. I like Star Trek instead.
Oh,
Take me to Star Trek Celebration.
That would be a problem.
Oh, Daddy, there's a Babylon 5 convention.
No, there isn't, John.
in
Shut
a
up.
Holiday Inn in Stoke-on-Trent.
It'll never happen.
That would be a problem.
They've got the last surviving, I don't know, alien.
I literally don't know anything about Babylon 5.
But I don't think Liz would go to another Star Wars Celebration, which I wouldn't blame her for. But the
There's
boy
a
might want to
Farscape
go.
convention in Rochester.
I go to Rochester. That's the next town over from Gillingham. Or
Sure,
next
yeah.
two.
Yeah.
Go to a
One.
Farscape convention.
Yeah.
Yeah. More relevant than ever, I'd
But
say.
yeah, I wouldn't want to be filming it. I'd take a quick couple of pictures. Here, pose in front of this son.
Pose in front of this Vader.
In front of this
Do
son.
it, son.
Do it. Do it
Do
now.
it. Enjoy
Yeah.
it.
Do it now. And I'll
Enjoy
send
the-
it to your mother and she'll enjoy it.
Enjoy
But
the
I wouldn't
Vader.
be filming myself all the live long day.
Enjoy the Vader.
Who's gonna love?
Oh, yes. I like it when I send someone a dank meme and they
That's
go,
a shame, isn't it?
I get the reaction that I want, and
Never
I
did.
What?
I
You get the reaction that you want.
I get the reaction that I want, which is like, that's ever so funny. Like, so,
So if they reply in text form and
Yeah,
say,
like,
that's a very funny
that's
meme.
so funny.
Chris, that is a great meme.
But-
I've had fun today.
But I've obviously not put any effort into the meme. I've just sort of stumbled upon it, found
Yeah.
it funny.
But you get the credit.
But I get the credit. I'm
Yeah.
associated now with that meme. I like that. I like that feeling.
It is funny that when someone sends me a dank meme
Yeah.
that I find humorous,
Yeah.
I do give the credit to that
To them.
person.
Because they found the meme.
Isn't that weird?
They found the meme. They're funny. By
they're the funny
association.
one.
Yeah.
They found it funny, therefore they deserve the credit.
They curated this perfect,
Like,
this
in
like,
a-
amuse-bouche.
In a simpler time, if you'd been walking through the forest outside your village and you
Yeah.
found like a dead deer, like
Yeah.
maybe it died of like shame or
Yeah.
old age, and you carried it home, and everyone would be like, "What a
Yeah.
what a
You-
brave hunter!" He did
Yeah.
it."
yeah, exactly. It's like
Yeah.
that, yeah. It's exactly like that.
Yeah.
No, I love it. I love it if I find a good meme, I send it to whoever, and everyone goes, "Oh, Chris, that's so funny.
Chris, that's actually a very good one.
That's
Yeah.
a good meme." And I'm like, good, thanks, I found that.
What if they just send that react emoji where it's just like laughing, crying eyes?
I'll take it.
Is that
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
Because
I'll
that's the
take it.
lowest effort. Because I didn't realize you craved this so much.
I don't
because-
crave it. I just like it when it comes off.
No, I just feel like our friendship has reached a point where we actually say very little to each other when
Yeah.
we don't have to. So,
yeah.
like, when you send a dank meme,
Yeah.
I might look at it and then not even react.
No.
But that doesn't mean I don't care.
Fine. Good.
Maybe you've done a little chuckle at
I
home.
care.
But if someone says that's very, sometimes someone will reply going, "That's very funny,"
Yeah.
and that I feel good about that. You know, that I found.
I think
something
it's good
they
that you
enjoyed.
said that. That was quite vulnerable, actually, of you.
Thanks so much.
And I now know
Yeah.
that if I have enjoyed it and
Yeah.
have done a
If
little
I send
chuckle,
you a dank meme,
I might take the effort to send you that little message
That's
back
so-
because
that's
I know
so-
it'll mean something to
that's
you.
so funny. Yeah,
That's
thank you.
so funny.
But yeah, I like piggybacking on other people's sense of humor, basically.
Yeah.
They-
That's the beauty of memes, right?
That's
Yeah.
the first time I think I've ever heard you say the word dank.
Thank you.
Wasn't a compliment.
That's something to celebrate, isn't it?
I think it means good.
Well,
what's
you know,
dank
it's
mean?
dank, innit? You know?
I think That's going to be a very hard thing to define, but I don't think it means funny.
Oh,
There
what
was
does it
a
mean?
time
Let's look
when
up
I
the word
think
dank.
it expressly meant
on
marijuana related.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Dank meme.
But I think that evolved.
Yeah, now it means a particularly...
It's a kind of humour, I
It's
guess.
a particularly weird kind of humour. It's quite hard to describe.
Oh no, I've misused it clearly.
What do they say? What's the definition?
So dank meme refers to a viral internet content that, due to overuse or passing trends, has lost its value or currency.
Yeah, it's a...
I've misused the word dank.
The joke is that it's a bit stale.
Yeah.
The joke is that it's overdone, but that's
well,
still funny.
I suppose it's kind of what I said. Probably kind of is anyway,
But to be
it
fair,
still
like,
lands sometimes.
we three were only like surface level swimmers in a deep ocean.
Oh,
of
I find
weirdness.
memes probably long after they've passed.
Oh, definitely.
Their sell-by date.
There's a whole thing about like deep fried memes where like it's gone so far through anti-humor that it
come back round.
barely reads as well as anything. It barely reads as art or content or human interaction. But
It's like Sanskrit on the wall of a cave.
Yeah. It's like kind of
these
like
hieroglyphics.
It's like CIA torture, kind of mechanics. It's just like hallucinogenic imagery and sound. Like it's.
And it's like 38 references deep.
Yeah.
So it's like if you get all of that track,
Yeah.
you understand the end.
Yeah.
But if you're like us,
get
at the
one
surface, we don't understand any of it.
Because like maybe 10 years ago, you'd go to Comic-Con and someone would be wearing a T-shirt going like, "My other TARDIS is a DeLorean," and you'd go like,
I'm sure that's very funny.
I get both those references.
No,
and now it's like, if you can survive right to the bitter kind of calcified core of a dank meme, you actually just feel kind of worse about yourself.
Yeah.
Because if I could understand like the 30 layers of reference that is required, it just proves that I'm a loser.
Yeah.
And then that suddenly becomes funny, and then the cycle begins again.
Well, when you look at it like that, then memes don't mean much, do they? But I like sending them.
Yeah.
I communicate with some people that I know exclusively through memes.
Yeah.
So
I will say, like, there is, for someone who is so old and so out of touch, there is a particular flavour of aggressively stupid internet humour, which does really get me.
Yeah.
And I can't do it, and that's why I admire it.
Yeah.
Because I
don't know how to make it.
Like, there's stupidity, and then there's like stupidity.
Yeah.
Like, it goes on a whole other level.
I possibly brought this up before, but there's a great one which not everyone would find funny, but I find very funny. That someone has basically shown off their funeral outfit. Like the 60, 70-year-old woman has like posted a picture of what she's wearing to a funeral. And the first comment is, "My algorithm is in fucking tatters." Because they've obviously been served this on their feed. It's just oh god.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, I like that.
So there you go.
Yeah, I approve of that.
And also, on my deathbed, I might still be thinking about that slightly haunted image of a Finding Nemo abandoned car and the phrase, "Where's me fucking son?"
It's too good.
I got it. That got me.
Yeah.
That got me early.
I was thinking about that while we were going around Disneyland as well.
Yeah.
Where's my fucking son? I've got a love.
Nicholas.
Again, tying into Disneyland because, it's the most magical place on earth. But I have discovered that I love that feeling of leaving your tummy behind when you fall. I didn't used to love it. I used to be very afraid of feeling it. And then when I did feel it on a ride or even just in a car going over a bump,
I love going over a bridge. You get a dippy tummy.
Would dislike it. I used to not like it.
I quite like it.
And this particular trip and going on Tower of Terror as many times as we did, something switched, a switch flipped in my brain, and I learned to really not only enjoy it but kind of crave it.
Yeah.
I was addicted to it. I wanted to go back on Tower of Terror to feel like I was dying.
Do you feel this is how? And I agree with you, because that first time I was startled, but that second time I was horny for it.
I know, right? Yeah. Addicted,
which kind of makes you think: can we now sympathise with weird fetishes?
Yes.
Like when someone goes I like to eat sponges, and you go, I can kind of.
Well, I've always
to get that sweet feeling.
I've always had this weird thing where people go like, "Oh, pain and pleasure are very closely related." And I'm like, "Are they though?" Because I have been through some serious pain in my life.
Don't want that
I've
again.
broken some it's like vital parts of my body.
Yeah.
And I know pain. I am friends with pain. Well, no, I'm not actually. I don't like pain. I've never felt
Business
that's
associate.
come even close to pleasure. But
Yeah.
the erection I had on Tower of Terror
Yeah.
was so profound.
And I'll be honest with you, like, I was very grateful because it was nice to have something to hold on to. But no, it was great though.
It was really good. And then there was that other ride, which was the RC car from Toy Story.
that was
The RC car.
the RC car.
Yeah, remote control.
Yeah.
And it had a very short track,
It was
which
a
was
Toy Story
just
theme.
Toy Story.
No, I know the car. Yeah.
Oh, you do, yeah.
Yeah.
And a very short track, which was just like a crescent moon, but resting on its back.
Crescent moon.
Yeah, and then the car goes up and down like that. And so, but when you go up to the top of each point of the moon, you are like hanging back
right.
over, like you're going to fall out the back of your seat. And then when you go the other way, it's like you're going to fall out the front.
Beautiful.
And I fucking loved
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It was so good. That hang time at the top, where you like you lose, you're kind of weightless for a
They're
second.
like one of them pirate ships, but a bit more
Yes,
intense.
Yes, it's exactly like the pirate ship.
I'm a sucker for a
Yeah,
swinger.
yeah.
And you
I
see, I've
love
never
it.
liked those in
Yeah.
the past, but I think I'd like them now because the switch is flipped, and I like.
I agree.
Tummy time.
Yeah.
I agree that as I've aged, I like that feeling a lot more.
And it's funny.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Why are we getting
Maybe
it when we're older?
That must be a thing.
But it's funny though because Oblivion at Alton Towers,
Yes, which I've been on.
I've been on twice. Is perhaps the most terrifying experience I can imagine. Like that kind of click, and then the horrible
Well,
weightlessness.
you hover there for a bit.
and yet you do.
I quite like
You do
Oblivion.
think about it.
I mean, I
Like,
went
yeah.
when I went to Alton Towers. It was like 10 years ago, I think, but the park was just deserted.
Yeah.
And I went on Oblivion like 7 times in a row.
Yeah.
Like I just
Yeah.
kept going round. And of course, you're chasing the dragon.
Yeah.
It's never quite as good as the first
Yeah.
time.
You need
But
to have a break of a couple of years. And then
Yeah,
get back.
it's funny though because Oblivion does the whole like you don't know when it's going to come, so you hang there and then suddenly it just goes ka-chunk and you go.
Yeah.
It goes different times, doesn't it?
Yeah, what I love about Tower of Terror and the RC car is that you just get it loads and loads of times.
Yeah.
Like, over and over again.
Tower of Terror is very,
Very
good.
good.
It's very, very good.
It's
yeah.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah. God, it is.
I want my own Tower of Terror in my garden.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
I think
We
it's
want to see your house as well.
I guess for danger.
Yeah, there's Nick's house.
That's my house.
The danger would be is that you would build up such
Resistance.
to it that you'd have to like
I'd feel nothing.
yeah Jesus.
I can't have a Tower of Terror in my garden.
It's the idea that like when you the act of like a lot of these rides they'll click you in and you have this big harness go around it
Yeah.
and you realise like you can't escape. You're helpless now. There's like a degree of vulnerability to it. Yeah.
But there's a weird sense of freedom there as
Yeah.
well. Because it's like, now, it is just enjoy this
Yeah.
or nothing. Like,
Yeah.
so I may as well just lose myself to it. Like, completely free my brain and
To the
body.
music, the moment.
Yeah,
There's
the
always a
magic.
risk the little thing will unlock as well.
Yeah, 1 in every 100 people
bell.
they do.
They make sure of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you get a lucky
The
golden
harness.
coin if it happens to you. So
I always think that. I always think, what if this like flipped all the way up? Would I be able to like hold on?
that's, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The answer's no.
The
Obviously,
answer is
but
probably no.
Yeah.
It's amazing, but in that white hot moment,
You never
maybe
know.
you discover a whole new degree of
Yeah.
like
Hand strength.
yeah.
a vice-like grip.
Maybe.
Fireman.
Ah!
After the ride ended, Fireman turned up with the jaws of life and were able to finally pry him
Yeah.
loose.
You'll have to cut him at the wrists.
It is good though, because like a roller coaster that goes up, down, left, right, spiraling. I love it. Don't get me wrong.
Had a great time.
but it's ticking a very different box.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like hoping / waiting that I'm going to get a little drop.
Yeah.
Because I did
Just a little
Crush's Coaster. Did you do Crush's Coaster?
I didn't do Crush's
no,
Coaster.
I think, yeah, you missed that one because it got closed for a day, which kind of fucked the whole
after
schedule.
the incident.
Yes, of course.
I think someone shat.
That's my working theory.
Because just think, if you vomit or shit on one of those enclosed dark coasters, it's just going to spatter around.
Yeah.
Hey, it would have to be a hell of a shit, you know.
What a bloody nightmare that would be in like one of the dark ones, especially. They'd have to get the floodlights in.
Yeah, turn all the lights on.
Find
and
it first.
Wipe down all the tracks.
Then clear it.
But that's a really good coaster, and that, especially with the shit everywhere, and that has a few of the drops in it. And
Whoa.
that was good. But yeah, I'm craving the drops, man.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
The drops are great. I've got a quick love.
Go on, take us home.
Quickly.
It's a very simple one, and it can't really compete with the other things that come about.
Sure.
But previously on the show, I've mentioned epic Lego builds on that. We watch a few people online. There's one channel in particular called Brick Crafts, where an exquisitely accented German man takes you through his kind of insane Lego build.
Brilliant.
He's got like a whole premise.
Oh, he's doing his own thing.
Yeah, it's like a whole. I think it's open to the public. I think it is.
Wow.
You can come in. He's painted all the walls to look like sky, but he's building like in crazy city. It's mad.
Nice.
We watched a video earlier. He's building like as an adjunct to it, a whole kind of pirate's cove.
Oh yeah.
Unreal.
Is that the one with the volcano?
Yeah.
I saw this.
Yeah, the Lego volcano is my love.
Ah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, he's built a proper big old
with
volcano.
a smoke machine
Nice.
built into the bottom.
Good.
And LED lights to illuminate the lava flow, which
It's
is
so cool.
yeah. Like
Is it big? Big-ish.
big enough to make you go.
Sure. Wow. Look at that.
That's
Yeah,
big.
I mean, the volcano probably goes up to your knee.
Yeah.
Like maybe a bit higher.
That's fine. Yeah.
But the whole
I'll
thing is
accept
set
that.
onto like tables, so
Sure.
it's already skying at like kind of waist height.
Yeah.
But like I'm already impressed because I was a big Lego guy growing up. But like, this really did kind of get a smile out of me, and that's hard. I'm a miserable bastard.
You went to
but-
Disneyland and smiled once, and that was because someone was phoning a family. So
You got to see him.
John was like, "Look at them with their vests."
and I got to turn their phone off, so it was grand.
Doink.
Yeah. But no, like it's just delightful.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, Brickcrafts.
I
Go
do
check it out.
like those sorts of builds. Like, I don't think I'll ever really do it myself, but I like the idea of building a little world, like a
Yeah.
Little
world.
Lego area.
Well, he did say at the end of the video that it cost him 33,000
insane.
euros.
Right, so that's why I won't be
That's
doing
probably
it.
won't be doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And that's
won't do it.
just this little pirate section.
Fucking hell.
Also, speaking of Disneyland,
Oh yeah.
in the base of a castle, the most magical place on
most
earth,
magical castle in the world.
there is a jeweler's,
There is.
and you could buy a
I've heard that you told me when you came to the house.
diamond-encrusted Dumbo
Yeah.
for 17,000 euros.
That was my activation price.
Imagine going there and thinking, and like on a whim, just going,
I'm going to drop
"Oh yeah,
17K.
I will take that one actually."
Actually, no, I will take the diamond-encrusted Dumbo
will
for
take- I will-
17,000 euros, please. Yes.
What an
do
eyesore!
we have any change there?
They were ugly as fuck, those diamond-encrusted
Yeah, they-
things, by the way.
I said to you, "What an eyesore!" Didn't I when you told me about it? I was like, "What an eyesore!"
But
Yeah.
every fucking H. Samuel's crystal fucking shop in the
Yeah.
world will do these. It's like a figurine. And just
Yeah.
every surface of
Surface,
it
yeah.
is coated in these tiny little diamonds or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck. And it's just like, that's never looked good.
Yeah.
It literally gets in the way of Dumbo.
Because the irony is, if they were like high-quality diamonds, it would probably be like $1 million.
Yeah.
So it's both expensive, but also kind of shit. Yeah.
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 Because every
what would you
individual
do
diamond
with
is
it?
shit.
What would you? I want to know what you would do with that. Like, you wouldn't display it. You wouldn't play with it.
Well, you definitely wouldn't play with it. You would probably have to just display it.
But then it's like, if you came round my house and I just randomly had a diamond-encrusted Dumbo, you'd think I'd lost my mind.
Diamond-encrusted Dumbo is such a
Oh,
funny
you know the
phrase.
Rays. They've got like a nice enough house.
Oh, the Rays,
You
yeah.
know, the
Really-
diamond-encrusted Dumbo. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, it's them.
really down to earth. They
it's
did-
worth half the value of the house.
Yeah, they didn't get that second car they were really hoping for,
Yeah,
but they got
but-
a diamond-encrusted Dumbo. Yeah.
Diamond-encrusted Dumbo.
drive that around.
Jesus. I mean, you'd have to look at it every day. You'd have to for 17 grand.
But you'd go blind, wouldn't you?
From what
Looking at all those,
tugging it all the
looking at all those cubic zirconias.
It's like the wobbliest disco ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
someone must have, but mad.
I mean, like, there's a price point to everything.
That's something you could take a picture of.
yeah.
Because that was something. That is
Beggars
something
belief.
don't buy it. Just take a picture of
And
that.
enjoy the
That's the
picture
other way
more.
around. Just take
Yeah.
a picture of it.
I guess, like, they probably know that, like, when they created that product, it's like, 99.99999% of people will never touch this.
They
But,
were probably hoping Michael Jackson would turn up.
but one idiot will turn up.
When he died, they were just like, we can't make any more diamond-encrusted Dumbos because Michael Jackson's gone.
It could have also been like a thing of like, maybe no one will buy it. But it creates a perception of our shop.
I wonder if they'd be gutted if someone rocked up and bought it.
They might only have one.
Yeah, because now you've got an empty space out
and
here.
then
We're
it's
not,
like, what are we going to display
we're not going to
now?
make another.
We can't just have a wooden Goofy in there. That's
No,
only
because
worth,
they've
that's
sold out of those. 'cause
That's
they were
only worth
fucking brilliant.
$59.99.
That is up my ass right now.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Gosh, Nick.
Gorsh indeed. So on that magical note,
TM.
Magical note TM.
TM.
R.
R in a circle.
Magic and Whimsy being a registered trademark
Yeah.
of the.
Yeah, we're gonna get shut down with this.
Yeah.
Christie Corporation.
What do we think won, love or hate?
What was your love again?
It was dank memes.
Oh yeah, sending dank memes to people.
I feel even the hate led to some pretty like loving conversations because we ended up talking about how much we loved like inanimate objects.
Oh shit, yeah, we did actually.
Well, I hate that I think of them.
Yeah, but I love them
as
Yeah.
animate.
You hate the better part of yourself.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I'm saying love.
I think love.
Well, it doesn't
Your
matter.
opinion's irrelevant.
Doesn't matter then, does it?
Shut up.
Once again, you've been made to be irrelevant.
I'm just worried about the lawnmower.
Yeah. Do you want to say any final words of comfort to it?
Just keep trucking on.